Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next lesson in the pre-intermediate course. And we're going to look at three very important topics. The first one is related to grammar, the past simple tense. Understanding what happened in the past is very important. We often talk about the past. Our last holiday, yesterday, last week, where we used to live or where we grew up as a child. We're always referring to the past. So it's important to know how to execute or use these past simple verbs. And I'm going to help you today. Next, we're going to look at a really important idea on pronunciation, the ed endings, which are also the past tense. How do you pronounce these ed endings? There are three ways, and I'm going to talk about them with you. And finally, very importantly, we are going to look at vocabulary related to holidays. We like to travel, especially after COVID. We want to see the world again, and we need to know how to pronounce and how to use some of these words in English. So let's get started. We're going to start with the most serious, the heaviest, sometimes the most difficult area, and that's grammar. So we're going to do this together. Write the simple form of these verbs. Are you ready? I'll do it with you a little bit. So let's see if we can find it here. Type text. Here we go. Go. What's the past tense of go? It's irregular. Go is irregular. It's went. What about climbed? Climb, just told you. If you want more time, pause the recording, okay? Climbed. I'll make these big letters so you can see them. Climbed. Repeat after me. Climbed. Next. To be. I was. You were. Take. Now, to be is irregular, so is take. Take is irregular. Are you ready? Took. I took my computer to work yesterday. Next, have. Had. I had a long day yesterday. Did you? Or was it short? Next, can. This is a modal verb. This is a special verb. We'll talk about can later in the course. Could. I can do that. Yesterday, I could do that. Next, we have sit. Sat, irregular. Get. I got the good news. I received the good news. Want. This is regular. Wanted. I wanted a new coat for Christmas. Wanted. Irregular. Think. Yesterday, I thought. Let's practice. Thought. Next, decide. Decided. This is rather regular. Decided. ED at the end. That makes it regular. If it doesn't have ED like climbed or decided or wanted, then we call it irregular. What about say? It's almost regular. Said. ID, not ED. Said. Irregular. Spend. Spent. Spend. Now. Spent yesterday. Here's a regular verb. Start. Started. Started. And finally, feel. Irregular. Felt. It felt so good to go on holiday last week. It felt so good. All right. Now I'm doing some of these because we skipped Unit 1. Unit 1 is reading, and we're not doing the reading. We have so much homework already. We don't need more. We're focusing on the communication aspects. Grammar is going to help us communicate more clearly and without errors. Now, let's do this. Check, Stuart, sorry, let's complete with negative words. I'm up, but it was a long walk. I can't, wait, I don't know what this one is, actually. I didn't check the answers first. Let's look at number 2. I wanted to take another photo, but I, negative, couldn't. Couldn't. We say N apostrophe T. It means could not. I could not or couldn't find my phone. Number 3, I to leave my phone up there. Negative verbs, I didn't want. Maybe I didn't want. Here are negatives. Now, number 1, you can find out. The answers are below. So I think you can find that answer. And then we're going to look at, we're going to look at questions and negatives right here. Questions and negatives in the past simple. So we're going to go right to the grammar bank. So let's go to it now. Here's the grammar bank. You can see it here. All right, we're going to look at past regular and irregular verbs. Why don't you repeat after me for pronunciation? Here's number 2. You can see regular has an ED or did. Let's look at the positive, though. The positive will have an ED ending. The irregular won't. It'll have a T or something else. So in the first one, let me go ahead and get this highlight. We stayed at a hotel last summer. I went to Turkey last year. He didn't stay. That's how we form the negative. He didn't stay. She didn't go. Now the question, did you stay? Did you go? Go is irregular. Went, to go, and then went is the past. Yes, I did. No, we didn't. And with a WH, where did you stay? Why did you go? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to look at my sheet that I devised. I think it's going to be very helpful. So let's take a look at the past tense. All right. Now, we form the past tense by adding ED. Do you see it? ED. These are regular verbs. Call becomes called. Want becomes wanted. Work becomes work. But we only add a D if there's already an E in the word. So look, like has an E, so we just add D. Liked. Hike. Hiked. Very good. Now, we have a lot of irregular past tense forms. Unfortunately, there's a lot of irregularity in English, which is what makes it difficult. So let's look at this. Now, when do we use, we looked at some of these irregular verbs earlier, right here. If you notice, we looked at some of these here. These are all here. Go, be, take, have, can, sit. These are all irregular. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to use the past tense, and we use it with something that happened once. I met my wife in 1983. I didn't, but someone did. We went to Spain for our holidays. We went once for our holidays. They got home very late last night. So that is the past tense for one occasion, but also several times. Watch this, a frequency, almost like a habit. When I was a boy, I walked a mile to school every day. This means I did it, as you can see, every day. I walked every day when I was a boy. This is in the past. We swam, to swim, we swam a lot when we were on holiday. We did it every day on holiday, or maybe 5 times. They always enjoyed visiting their friends. Always enjoyed, always is a key here to show repetition. And finally, something that was true for some time in the past. So, I lived abroad for 10 years. I lived in England for 4 years. That's something that happened in the past. 4 years or 5 years, many years ago, I lived in England 4 years. Or I lived in England for 4 years. All right. We can say, I think I lived in England 4 years is better here. I enjoyed being a student. Did you enjoy being a student? That's a question. We're going to look at questions in a minute. She played a lot of tennis when she was younger. That's right. That was this is a combination of happening several times and also being true in the past. We use ago with simple past. I met my wife a long time ago. I studied Spanish a long time ago. What did you study a long time ago? Tell us. Or tell a speaking partner. Simple, past simple sentences. Watch this. Questions, excuse me. Now we're going to look at questions. You can see that right here. We're going to focus on questions. We use did to make a question in the past. Do forms a question in the present. Did signals a question in the past. Did she play tennis when she was younger? Did you play tennis when you were younger? Or did you play any sport? Did you live abroad last year or 2 years ago or when you were younger? When did you meet your wife and where did you go on holiday? Now, interestingly, when we use who, we don't use did. Who discovered gravity? Gravity keeps us close to the earth. Who wrote Hamlet? Who wrote Hamlet? So who means we don't use did. Now let's look at negatives. We use didn't or did not to make negatives. They didn't go to Spain last year. I did go, but they didn't go. We didn't go home until very late last night. So last night means it's in the past. We didn't get home until very late last night. I didn't see you yesterday. All right, now here are common irregular verbs. We talked about some of the irregular verbs. Here are more. Here's the base form, be. Let's just practice this. Ready? Be, was, were. Repeat after me. Begin, began. Bring, brought. Buy, bought. Choose, chose. Let's practice that again. Today I choose to study English. Yesterday I chose to study English. Come, came. Oh, this one's tricky. Cost, cost. It costs, yesterday it cost $10. Cut, cut. Do, did. Draw, drew. Drive, drove. Eat, ate. Feel, felt. find, found. Get, got. Give, gave. Go, we've already looked at, went. It's just wild. Although gone is the past participle. I go to school, I went to school, I have gone. So gone is more normal. Went is not at all related to G or go. Have, had. Hear, heard. Let's look at this one again. Heard. The present, hear. Next, hold, held. Keep, kept. Know, knew. Leave, left. Let, lie, lay. Lose, lost. Make, made. Mean, meant. Meet, met. Yesterday I met them. Today I am meeting them. Pay, paid. Put. Yesterday I put it on the desk. I don't know where it's at now. Run, ran. Say, said. To sell something, I sold it last week. Send, sent. And sit, sat. A few more. Speak, spoke. Spend, I spent all my money yesterday. Stand, stood. I stood on my feet for 2 hours. Take, took. I took 2 vitamins yesterday. Teach, taught. I taught a class at university. Tell, told. I told him about it. I told her about it. Think, thought. I thought about calling you yesterday. Understand, understood. Write, wrote. Now, practice some of these irregular verbs in the speaking club or with a speaking partner, or on your own in front of a mirror. You don't have to have a speaking partner to improve your English, although it might be more fun to do so. All right, we're going to continue, and we're going to look at pronunciation. Now, how do we distinguish between using a T, a D, or an id ending with past participles? So watch this. Here's the T sound. I booked. Here's the D. I arrived. And here's the id. She invited. Now, I'm going to show the grammar. The audio files are going to help you understand these lessons. I'm not going to do those for you, but what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and look at what I've prepared on this page here, pronunciation of past participles. Now, these have the T ending. So if it ends in P, we use T. Watch this. Popped. He popped a balloon. Repeat after me. Talked. They talked a lot. Kissed. She kissed a frog. Laughed. I know it's a GH, but it is pronounced F. I laughed at the movie. TH, difficult, frothed. She frothed a cup of milk. Froth means you create this foam on the top of your latte. Shh, this is a common one. We brushed it off. To brush it off. You can brush your hair. I brushed my hair yesterday. Reached. I reached around for it behind my back. I reached around for it. All right. Next, we have, but not very common, the ID sound, id. Let's practice, id. There are only two letters that you need to concern yourself with for this sound. T and D, that's it. I wanted, and then D, decided, decided. And guess what? All other endings take the D sound. All other endings take the D sound. So T, id, and D. So everything else is D, and you're going to practice some of these. Here's a D sound, phoned, arrived, here, and there'll be other D sounds. All right. Now you've got those pronunciations. Listen to the audio files. They're very helpful. Repeat after them so you can understand what they're saying. All right, vocabulary. We're going to talk about holidays. Actually, I'm not going to do it. The audio file is going to do it. They have everything, all these interesting vocabulary or phrases and words, which are assisted by the audio files, which are right below the video. So I'm not going to do that, but I do want to talk about this distinction between rent and hire because it's confusing if you're in England or in America or learning British English or American English. So we normally rent for a longer period. So you rent a flat, but you hire, this is English, this is British English. Now, you hire skis, you hire a bike or a boat. In Britain, you'd say, I'd like to hire skis or hire a bike. Very common to hire a bike. In fact, you'll see signs that say bike hire. But in America, in American English, you rent a bike, you rent a boat, you rent skis. Means exactly the same. It's just a different word. We hire, in America, we hire people for a job. You're hired. Come work for us. But not in Britain. You can hire them for a job, but you can also hire a bike, a boat, skis, hire anything short term. That's a hire. Not in America, but in the UK, in Britain, it's the case. So you've got all of these to lots of interesting, very practical pieces of vocabulary. And if you still want more practice with your speaking partner, here's another option with these questions. And of course, you've got your grammar homework here. I didn't show you, but this is the homework you have. And the answers are below. I hope you can see they're very conveniently, easily found below. We've whited out everything else so you wouldn't be confused. So you've got the answers below. All right. And some speaking. We won't give all the audio files because it's a lot of work, but this is very nice if you want to go through it on your own or with a speaking partner to practice. Well, you've got a lot to do. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Happy studying and speak to you very soon. Bye-bye.